We up. All right. Welcome to another show of a few TSU sports fans. This is the
Oh man.
Thank you Eddie George edition of a few TSU sports
Man.
fans.
Congratulations, Eddie George. Congratulations. Congratulations.
So let me go get send some messages out.
Man, as that brother ain't waste no time, man. He put that on the screen
Yeah,
quick.
I know, right? I know, man. He wastes no time. He just put it out there. We need to say introductions. We need to say hello. He just like boom. Eddie George, there you go.
All right, welcome to another show of a few TSU sports fans. We have the meat in the house.
What's up, y'all? In the mood.
He can't even say what's up, Big Blue. He just like what's up, y'all.
TSU Madness is in the building.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Tigers, what up?
And we found out today, Friday, heard some news that, Eddie was, he did interview with Chicago Bears. He took time to look down Temple University, football, how open. So he was looking around. And Friday night we heard, Bowling Green had an opening. So, and a couple hours after that, there's agreement coming along. And then this morning you get up around 9 o'clock while I was in church, you know, saw, oh, he's gone. Right before church. So,
I guess you didn't pray hard enough.
man, yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't know. It was balanced the walls, man. It wasn't hitting right. And there you go. Congrats to Eddie. Thank you for all the work he's done at Tennessee State. It was not an easy job. We are not easy people to work with. If we're being totally honest with ourselves as the fans, but to come in and in 4 years build a championship team is quite impressive. That's sort of what you want to see with
Yep.
any coach.
Yep.
Despite some of our detractors who say it should be done quicker, that's few and far between to get somebody up a program up to space, especially how bad we were before. And our funding issues before the funding issues that came up recently. We cut back before pre-COVID on our funding our athletic program, and so we still had to rebuild all that kind of stuff. Um, so he did a great job. He admitted that he made some mistakes. He admitted that he may have picked some wrong coaches here and there. He admitted that he may not have known the most about how to select players. But he found the right pieces. He found the right OC with Mr. Partridge here this year. He brought back Coach Kevin Meshack to do the recruiting, and then the things that seem to fall in place over the last 2 years to get us where we're at right now. So um, nothing but thanks to him. Um, what are your thoughts? I'm gonna go with TSU Madness first, since he gets TSU Madness get called on the most about comments about on the show. So we'll go TSU Madness first.
Hey man, congratulations, Eddie. This is what he wanted, and this is what he got. He prepared him. He got himself. Got Tennessee State to a conference championship. Got us to a playoff. And I think a lot of he deserves this opportunity. He earned it. He earned he earned all the accolades that have been given to him lately. He's the only one of the few TSU coaches to leave TSU with a winning season. I think only LC Cole and he to finish their tenure. Well, since OVC, sorry, since we've been in the OVC. Let me correct that. Since we've been in the OVC, only two coaches to leave here with the winning record, and he's only one of three OVC coaches to get us to the playoffs. And so he was successful. I mean, despite how he started, he was successful. So he earned it, and he will forever be one of our top coaches, and one of our top OVC coaches here at Tennessee State. And so I think he, and all the notoriety that comes with it, the attention to Tennessee State because of him, was really something to behold, and it was really good. I wish him the best up in Bowling Green, which is just a little bit right outside Toledo. I figured he would leave to a university that was a little bit more, you know, had a little bit more name to it, but more Bowling Greens, I'm sure, is a good school, and they went 76 last year and ended up in the 68 Adventures Bowl. Um, I mean, they Bowling Green averaged 13,000 fans last year. The year before that, 14,000. So I mean, I mean, it's going to Bowling Green. Woo, hey. But hey, I'm proud of him, man. He got that money, whatever money it is. But look, all kidding aside, he did a great job at TSU, and I'm happy for him. Happy what he did at TSU, and best of luck to him.
Demetrius.
Man, yeah, man, it's I'm not gonna beat a dead horse on this. I think he left TSU better than what he found it. Um, I'm proud of that championship. As y'all know, in my tenure with Tennessee State, I've never experienced an OVC conference championship.
Cause you're a young
Um,
buck.
yeah, man. Oh yeah. So, to be in the building to witness that in person, it was special, and that's something that I'll never forget. And I think that team will never forget. Um, but change is inevitable. He chose to um, seek another opportunity at a school that I'm very familiar with my Ohio roots. And I know that they've produced some great coaches. So I don't know what Eddie's long term goal and vision is as it pertains to coaching. Um, but if you interview with the Bears, you interview with multiple other FBS programs. Um, my assumption is that he wants to go as far as he can go, and I think Bowling Green has had um, the the history of putting coaches um, in those type of situations. So all the best. You know, I'm happy for him, but my time and attention is going to always be on 3500 John A. Mary Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to see what the future of the Big Blue program is going to be, and I truly believe that this is going to be a sought out opportunity, and I have no doubt that um, Dr. Allen's going to get who he wants, and that person is going to take us um, from great to greater. So thank you, Coach George. Appreciate your time.
Hmm.
Um, hopefully, we'll see you in the future.
Yeah, one thing this guy, Sean Jones, just mentioned, yeah, Urban Meyer coach. I'm sure that was sort of influenced, like the MAC as a program conference rather. They do. They got a lot of opportunities to play Big Ten teams, and I
Yep.
think majority Big Ten teams. Uh, but if you win a conference, you go to a bowl game. So and then you get access to uh, the elite talent that's in Ohio outside of Columbus, because the talent really is in Dayton
Oh
and
God.
Cleveland. They're not in the middle of Ohio. So you know you have that kind of connections um, that he can really tap into. Um, one of our tight ends 2 years ago um, was from Bowling Green too. Came,
Hmm.
uh,
Rockman.
yeah,
Rockman.
yeah. Rodman was when we came transferred in for Bowling Green. Yeah.
Yeah, Columbus kid, and,
Mhm.
he's commenting saying, "Hey, now we get to go back to my first home at Bowling Green." But it's gonna be interesting. I mean, you got an Ohio guy, Buckeye,
Mhm.
that's gonna be in. I mean, those who don't know Ohio that well, Toledo is Michigan country, like
Yeah.
that heavy Michigan up there. So
Mhm.
he's it's gonna be interesting to have him going in those households up in that area, trying to get kids to come play for him, um, which I have no doubt he will. Uh,
Mhm.
so again, you know, I'm excited for what 3500 because this job I believe is a sought out job now.
Yeah.
People are going to want it. I don't care what people say about Tennessee State's broke. We don't have any money. Like
Yeah.
I guarantee you, there's not going to be a shortage of applications that are going to be get submitted to want to coach at Tennessee State. And I believe it's going to be some coaches that are already employed that are going to be reaching out to try to get the job. So I'm excited, man. Let's go.
I'm still not ready to move on. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry about Kentucky, uh, Charles. Yeah, Kentucky does have talent there in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, Kentucky has a lot of talent. So, uh,
Oh,
we very Ohio centric today. I guess we can sort of make TCU Mass get bored all our Ohio
no,
jokes.
no. I think it's funny. No, bro, I spent all my summers in Ohio since I was a shorty, man. All my summers were in Ohio, so I know all about Dayton, Trotwood, Columbus, and Cleveland. I had family in every city. My whole summers were spent all through those cities, man.
Okay.
So, nah, I get it.
Okay. Okay.
So we all have Ohio roots here, the three of us.
Yeah, I think Dr. So one thing, um, also I want to note too is that yeah, he moved from thinking about how bad the lane loss was and how everybody was out on him, on Eddie.
Rightfully so. Rightfully
Rightfully, yeah,
so.
yeah. For him to get that loss, he had a couple wins in OVC after that. Go 6-5, the next 6-5 the following year, and then to get where he is now, man, that takes a lot. Because yeah, that's generally a that losses can be losses like that can be program killers, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so he overcame a lot to get here. Um, so um, yeah, and somebody said Dr. Allen should have a short list. So one thing that was interesting. So about midday today, we know that based off Mike Organ's reporting, uh, they had a meeting with the football players, coaches, and then they sort of announced, he's saying goodbye. Saying goodbye to some. Some are going to follow him. Some coaches are going to follow him, I'm sure, as well. We're going to see what will be named, who will be named, and all that kind of stuff. And then Mickey Allen, Dr. Allen, is going to be the interim head coach going until it's not interim anymore, right? So with the short list, I'm thinking that that's an interesting decision because generally it doesn't happen. But before Eddie left, we did lose our director of operations because sometimes in the past, I remember we had a missing coach. We had the coach, coach, head coach was vacant, and we actually moved our director of operations. It was the late great Jesse James. He served as interim, but he played football there, so he was interim for a couple weeks. We also lost our tight end and our tight end coach and our offensive line coach as well. So we sort of like spreading thin a little bit anyway. So um, yeah, so we got to see. It's one thing that I don't know how many people are going with him. That really wasn't announced today. We certainly have to see. But with Eddie, he did bring some visibility to our program. People know about our program, playing Notre Dame, that Montana game, a lot of people checked it. A lot of people reach out to me who are not TSU alums and say, "Oh yeah, I heard about you all playing in Montana, and how well they competed in that game, right? And that went a long way. So I don't think that we got to find the right person, right? Now, will we be able to get this spring game done April 12th? And other programs have canceled their spring game, but that's more so due to NIL and recruiting because they didn't want to go and name this first, second, third, fourth team, and then your second through fourth. So let me leave. I'm not starting already, right? So some bigger programs they said we're not doing a spring game because I don't want to create this problem we're gonna create anyway, right? So
But the bigger programs now have a spring game because they don't want
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
want their guys being recruited by other schools. They're
yeah,
being
correct,
scouted,
correct.
being
Yeah,
scouted.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm saying it's not, it's not normal. It's a little more common, acceptable not to have a spring game, right? Not for our reason, but not having a spring game is not like the end of the world per se. If you can't find somebody within the next week or two, right?
Yeah.
Um, which you would sort of need, right, to really get the ball rolling. Um, so
I mean, let me ask y'all think we should have it? Well, you think we should, or do you think and do you think we will have a spring game? Like, what do you think about that?
Um, I would say no. Well, it all depends. It just all depends. So when the spring game is when? What date?
April 12th. I guess
April
we got
12th.
a
All right.
month out, roughly. A month out.
It all depends how quickly Dr. Allen operates and how quickly he announces someone. Um, Look, and I'll be honest with you. I think it should be fairly easy. Eddie's going to say, "All right, these are the people I want to bring with me. I want to take. Who's going to take from Tennessee State. But I'm hoping that Dr. Allen already has a short list. Personally, I hope his short list is someone who's on staff. Look, I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist. All right, and I believe that this gives us an opportunity. Eddie George made $500,000. $5,000. If I'm not mistaken, it's $500,000 a year, right? It was either 400, 500,000. One of them. I think it's
Yeah,
five.
last 2 years, start 400,000. The last year or two was like
It was like
500.
500. All right. The average FCS head coaching salary is 290,000. First of all, this is going to help us financially bring it down. So you find the person who's willing to work for $300,000. I'm hoping someone on staff. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if even Brandon Fisher even wants the defensive coordinator even wants the job. I'm hoping that Dr. Allen reach out to him like yesterday, and say, ask him if he's interested in the head coaching job. What amount would he be willing to take? Um, Look, and the reason why I'll just say real quick, the reason why I like Brandon Fisher. I mean, the guys seem to love him. He has the most successful unit at in Eddie's tenure, in Eddie George's tenure at Tennessee State. I mean, the defensive. I mean, look, the defensive side of the ball has been great, right? It's been the offense that's always kind of been questionable, but the defense has been great. So, and again, I think the city loves Brandon Fisher, and the players seem to like him and love him as well. So that's my hope. But in any case, again, I think we can get this done really quickly. If Dr. Allen get it done quickly, we can have a spring game. But I think because of the time that we're in, I'm hoping he already had a short list. Like you said before, Coach George has been interviewing all over the place. And I said all over the place, but I think he's had a few interviews here and there. So
All over the place.
okay, all right, all over the place. So we need to go ahead and get. He should have had a short list. Boom, let's make this happen. Let's see who we can keep, because we need to keep all of our talent that's here, and some is going to leave. We get it, but I'm hoping most stay. And if so, we have a spring game, because you're not going to have a spring game if you don't have any players. Everybody talking about I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should have it. I think we keep moving. Um, I like I like Kevin Partridge or Travis Partridge. I'm sorry, Fisher. I like him too. I think both of those would be great options as replacements. I mean, you saw what Coach Partridge did with the offense in what 6 months. When did he come on board? Like
Right.
he was hired around this time.
Yeah, he was.
So for him,
Yeah, you're right. Because they ran the spring game. I didn't go, but they ran uh, uh, roll stuff because it was so late. Just running stuff. Then they switched it after that. Yeah.
right. So he had a chance to install his stuff. I thought he was really good. Um, so I think again, I think Dr. Allen's going to have his options. Um, if there is a way to have it, I say do it. You know, um, and because listen, every coaches are leaving by the dozens, players are leaving by the dozens all over the country, and the logistics with timing. But I mean, this is the day and age we live in with college athletics. So, um, I don't know how this stuff works when you're trying to interview a coach that's under contract. If they got to go reach out to Dr. Allen first to get permission or whatever. I don't understand how that works, but Dr. Allen ain't called off. He wasn't called off in left field. So I think he has an idea of where he wants to go. The question is how quickly we can pivot if it's the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Let me look up something real quick because I'm thinking that they had players coming in next week for recruits.
I mean, yeah, I think
Um,
the next portal wave is in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
um, uh, no, they took it down. Post. Let me see. One thing I saw was March 15th. It was like junior recruiting, but it was 2026. It wasn't this year. It was 2026.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't see it on Instagram. Also, but let me see if it's on out there on X. But they had a flyer for it, right? We're
Yeah.
inviting people to campus next week.
yep.
The 2026 class. So I mean, and you really can't. I mean, I'm sure people who've already committed to traveling have already put their money up, right? If they're coming out of state, so you um, do that. Um, Typically, contracts have this is a question. Typically, contracts have this kind of buyout, and I'm sure Bowling Green could pay it. So um, I'm sure they can work out something with that to make sure we get some compensation for us having to, hop around. So I can find this flyer.
It all depends on how long
Yeah.
his new contract was. Did it end this year? Was it, how was it go? Did it go into next year in a couple of years, longer? So it just all depends. If they did, that's money coming to us.
Yeah. Um, let's see. They posted that spring game schedule. It was I know it was a TSU recruiting page. Um, yeah. Again, I'm sure that they knew, that Eddie was looking around and stuff like that. So um, I'm sure this is not like as a total shock out the blue per se.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, right now I don't see the flyer um, for that week. Um, was even more telling that they probably knew this may be out happening. So
Yeah, it's
um,
possible.
I don't see it right now. Anyway, in the comments, see it out. Let me know.
Well,
So if we let's just say we go off staff, who's your short list?
I personally, I personally don't have one outside of us, outside of our staff. I mean, I don't know. I don't keep up the names of coaches that much, and so that's just me.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at because our pay is gonna be comparable to um, the other Missouri Valley schools. So I'll be looking at one of their assistants that sort
Did
of
you
continue on that style
did you say
um,
Missouri Valley?
conference team.
Hmm.
Just sort of somewhat. Um, it's a similar style, right? I mean, I think that first of all, and I'm sure they can recruit down south. Probably even easier for them to actually recruit into the south even more, and the Midwest a little bit too as well. So yeah, I think that that's probably where I would go since because we want when Eddie took over, we want a downturn, right? And it was a risk to hire him, no experience. He even said it, like, "Why are you calling me?" Right? That whole kind of thing. So and now we're up, right, in terms of programming. We could see sort of like so the next person shouldn't take as long, right, to be if you can retain players, right? I mean, so if you hire somebody within a month and you can do a spring game possible. People will got kids who are leaving are going to leave. You have the full summer to go get some players because there's already people in the portal already, right? So it's not like they're going to be a lack for them. It's going to be hard putting it all back together, right? That's going to be a difficult process because you do uh, um, have, taking O lineman, taking D lineman, taking. We already lost some, right? Let's be honest. We lost three starters already, right? We lost one went to FAM, one DB went to FAM, one went to UTEP. Doing a little hat, the little minor thing. One went to UTEP. Uh,
Marshall.
one went to Marshall. Um, so we already lost three stars already on that. I think the O lineman left, went somewhere. I think one hopped in the portal already. So we lost a few already um, to the portal, and we felt confident about our system. I mean, we had a good system, and so we got to see who's going to retain. But there's no reason, that I mean I can imagine because even so going back to Bowling Green, their coach got hired at Philadelphia, right? And so they had
Yeah.
people on staff. So it's not like they had all these open staff positions, right? Some people are gonna be on contract, some people they probably didn't care about, but it's not like, and they have more positions, more coaches as well. So it's not like, oh, take all Tennessee State coaches and then pop them over here. It's not be like a one-on-one kind of thing. So I'm sure some will stay. I'm going to assume that we got three or four people that's going to stay from the staff, current staff, right? Um, and then go from there. You know, I've seen some lists. I sort of hate. I don't want to say anybody's name, but think about like Chicago Bears. They had some staff turnover, and they had some guys on that staff who did coach college at some point, and so he got let go because of Eberflus stuff. So I ain't talking about a particular person, but uh, that person, I heard that person may be interested in coaching in the college level again, and this might be a good opportunity. And he's has 10 to 15 years. He has about 8 years of college coaching, and he has 8 to 10 years of NFL coaching. So it's like a very good fit there. Um, so that could be a chance. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. Um, this guy had a, how soon do we need to hire somebody? Um, I mean, ideally 2 weeks, man. I mean, I think you just had this linger out that long.
Yep.
Um, because of this, you need somebody in place, and really, you thinking about what somebody in the comments said, what's the point of spring games in the first place? And that's a good point. It's just open exhibition, right? And some schools are even moving practices. They have practices in different places now. It's not even like a real, I think some people have some spring games, whatever. So it's not like it can't be moved.
Let me just say this: Leonard
Uh,
Hamilton, the head basketball coach, FSU, coached his last game. I think it was Friday. They just
yeah,
hired somebody today. Okay,
yeah,
so you 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 gotta move, man. You gotta do what you got. T. Martin. So I didn't want to throw that name out there because it's not necessarily who I want, but I know that's somebody Dr. Allen's close with. I don't know if he's ready for the head coach. I know that he's done some other coaching positions. So, but is he coaching right now? I don't know. But I didn't want to say that name, but I thought about that. But again, it's not necessarily who I want, but just figured that he probably would be reached out to. But again, I think to me the easier transition because it has to be quickly is to hire within. But whatever we do, it needs to be soon.
yeah.
It needs to be soon.
Um, the other coaches, people named, they've been the HBCU server, they rumor every single time. I'm not really interested in those names, right? To be totally honest, we don't we don't need coaches going out clean. We don't need janitors and coaches. We just need either or. We don't. So, and I don't think that's the kind of person that Dr. Allen would be necessarily interested in hiring. I mean, think also, thinking about he quickly found a tennis coach. He quickly found a golf coach. He hasn't had that much issue finding a women's basketball coach. I think Evans was good, especially in terms of finding someone where somebody left real quickly. You had to replace it with Coach Evans, and they turn around and getting Coach Dupree. So it's not like he hasn't had like a massive, opportunity to hire a whole bunch of coaches, but he has had some success with moving through some of the smaller. Uh, um, it's okay to call them smaller.
Smaller programs. I mean,
Yeah, not revenue. I mean,
football
yeah,
is the right. Football
yeah.
is the head
I
honcho.
mean,
Yeah.
hockey was different. But there's a lot. There's a lot of issues, the challenges that came with being in the hockey world. Like no one really knew what. So it was sort of a hard kind of thing. A lot of different issues going on, factors going on with that. So it did take a little while, but the the the, the places where we had already a system in place, he was sort of ready to find somebody who could do it.
Yeah.
And now we have a new tennis coach, which I don't know if everybody knew. He sort of mentioned last time. Do have a new tennis coach. The other guy left, and so that he found before. So we're sort of going through that. So you know, but I do think, yeah. I mean, through Dion and through Eddie, now down to Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson. There's some buzz around it, right? Whether or not you want to go in that direction or not, that's sort of up to you. But if you're a guy and you're sitting at a position coach for a while and you haven't gotten opportunities you want to get, you know, um, heck, there were two guys at Bowling Green who didn't get the job. I mean, that's that's two right there. So to be totally honest, they said, "Well, I take the job that Eddie left." The opening. So I mean, so there's an opportunity there for that. And I do hope that this time around, it being more open and we can get some more support, for the program versus be so much tension,
Right.
unnecessary tension that we just really made him. I do think there was he was a celebrity. Well, not really celebrity. I mean, he's a well-known NFL player. Well, I guess to the director says he's a celebrity, but he wasn't like a he wasn't Dion, right? I mean, there's nothing. Even Michael Vick had a bigger name than what you know Eddie had. He's very respected, but I think people just thought it would be instant impact, you know, and uh, and it just wasn't that. So, um, yeah, and hopefully somebody that he bring in that guy can find some people to talk to and then get some type of um, decision made where he can engage multiple people, multiple groups, so people can be more confident about this actual hire. You know, um, but again, Eddie came in, did what you're supposed to do. Come in, take about 4 years, get the ball rolling. That's what you're supposed to do. So um, he accomplished that.
Yep, he did it. He did it. And anyone who didn't care for him for whatever reason because he was never coached before, he got the job. Hopefully he should have made believers out of everybody. And there's no sense for the attention. He was our head coach. He was hired as our head coach. Support him regardless. Support him in attendance. But support him in financially, and let's move on. I mean, we still here. It's something I'll explain to somebody today. We're supporters. We're fans of Tennessee State. Before Eddie was here, we're gonna be. Hopefully, we still supporters now that he's gone. Continue that. Give. Show up. And whoever the next coach is, let's support them too.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
All righty.
So
Now let's talk basketball.
yeah, the updates come in. Maybe we'll hop on again, get some updates tomorrow. Or we get some coaches leaving. We'll talk about it again. Get a couple more shows in. Uh, Basketball. So
We
we
made it.
saw
We made it to the semis.
made the semis. Tough loss. Um, you come down to a play and you don't do. We're supposed to do that on that last play. You just it doesn't happen for you,
That was
right?
tough. That was tough to watch.
Yeah, and so
And we had what 20 was it 23 seconds, 22 or 23
yeah,
to get it done.
yeah. And Coach Penny did an interview after the loss. He said they thought that he had a play that they wanted. He did have a timeout. Didn't want to use it. Thought they would have time to get resettled. Thought they had a couple good shots and just didn't take it. For whatever reason, and turned the ball over. It was a physical game. They were calling a lot of they're being selective with the whistle. So did you get bumped? Are they gonna call that at the end of the game? Probably not. It'd be very blatant. But just got to shoot it next time. I
Gotta
don't
shoot it.
know. Yeah, um, but the future is bright for the program. I think. He got. So we talking about the other day, Khalil London coming back. Well, he's injured. Charles Southern. Demetrius loves him.
He came from College of Charleston.
College Charleston. So it was College Charleston.
Yeah.
So Demetrius loves him. These guys are the basketball guys. I sort of just watch it. Uh, I'm a casual. Uh, so then we had Brandon Weston, which we saw most of the season. His last 2 3 weeks of the season, but he's coming back too as well. So this just sort of keeping everybody together. Really said Josh to come back and interview the big center. Hopefully get a little bit more in shape. He has a heart issue, and his knee was injured before, but he'll get more time to get in shape. Maybe he can play some more minutes. But I like what I saw. Overall. I mean, because you want to win, but SCIU ended up winning the thing. They blew out SEMO, and it's like we take that shot, we win. We beat SEMO, we're dancing, right? That's actually how I feel.
We should have been dancing, man.
Yeah. So it's like you know, so it makes it even worse when you beat a team. You should have beat a team, and they go on this beat the brains out the next team. You know, they blew them out. It was no contest, and I think
Right.
we'd had the same exact thing. We would have walked over Seymour, but what can you do? What can you do?
Yeah, we went from never losing to SIU, no SIU, SIUE,
Yeah,
to never losing to them to losing three times in one season.
yeah,
I think that it was a tough loss. We saw there were some opportunities to take the shot. But it is what it is. It happened. There's a lot, some of the guys who had the ball were young. It's on like their sophomore year, you know, junior year, whatever. Man, they were just young, and so it is what it is. But Penny had another successful season. He had four. He's had four winning seasons in 7 years, and they finished. I think it was 17-16, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They finished third in the OVC. They got the top three seed in the OVC tournament. And he finished at the highest he's ever finished in Ken Palm ratings. That was going to come up, 251. But season isn't over. That could go up and down depending on how things turn out in some of these other tournaments. But right now it's 251. That's his ranking out of 364, 65 teams. So 251 is the highest he's been. So take it for what it is. But those are the facts.
Yeah.
But
You know,
I'm looking forward to next year. I love this roster. Like I've said before, I love the roster. The roster is built to win next year if all these guys come back. If the guys do not come back, then we'll be back at square one.
yep, yep. I think that's the big contingency is we can get majority of those guys to come back. Um, experience is to me was a differentiator between us and SIUE. That team was experienced. Um, the player of the year, he was a fifth-year senior. Even the backup point guard coming off the bench, he was a senior coming over from Division II, and that program made deep runs in the tournament. So um, this is experience is the best teacher,
Yeah.
and I think the three of us agree that at least I know for a fact whoever won the game between us was going to win the whole thing, and I really felt that. Um, and we've got a strong team coming back, but we got to get better. We got to get better. And, I know I rave about Khalil London, but he hadn't played a game in a year, so he's going to have to get better.
Hmm.
Jackson better. Nkrumah's got to get better. I thought he kind of disappeared in that game a little
He
bit.
did. He did.
Um,
Yep.
you know, our fours got to get better, and I think they'll make that jump. You know, and so as a whole, I think that core we keep developing them, we keep getting them stronger, and then we add those pieces that we miss. I think we got a shot to be right back in that same conversation. Um, and if it's 24 seconds left at the end of the game and we need to get a shot, you know, we can't have that next year because I think the same shit happened when we played against Colorado State.
Hmm.
Or maybe it was one of those teams we played out west where, matter of fact, it was Colorado State.
Yeah. It was.
Going,
Yeah.
going into overtime,
Hmm.
we had a chance to win it and we couldn't get a shot off. So, you know, I know that staff, this is going to eat them for the entire offseason, and it should. Um, and I think we'll be back. I think they'll be back.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well. So yeah. That's for basketball.
And then
And
when
we failed to mention women's basketball as well. They kind of they went out on the first round, but again they're gonna be better, and they're gonna be better next year. I'm doing my best to trying to find her other recruits. I do know one recruit, Coach Dupree. She mentioned, if y'all didn't see the post game show after they lost in the first round of the OVC tournament, you know, she mentioned that she's already have 3 recruits, for next year, and I do know there's one. There's I think she's like 6'2". And then there's 2 more. I'm trying to find them, but it's a little difficult. I'm not sure who they are. But look, the team is going to be better. A lot of
Yeah.
freshmen, a lot of
So
freshmen, a lot of growing pains. They'll be better next year.
yeah, so again, I saw them. They played in Dayton, and see the improvement over time was really good. So that one of the girls, Isis Thomas, she was an Illinois state champ. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
champion. She just won a state championship. She's ready to go. She's about 6'1", 6'2", and
Mm-hmm.
that's good, and that's very good for us. I don't know about somebody asked about the go at the men's real quick. Coach Collins, I heard anything. I'm assuming he's back. Yeah, like the video made it seem like he's coming back, so I guess he's back. That's in my knowledge. Um, but yeah, women's basketball, you see the improvement, um, and you know, I'm looking forward to what she has. 'Cause her to put together and really play without. I mean, Cole was your center. She's 6 foot, right? And so she's barely for them to really go and have really 3 power forwards play center and put up a good fight. I mean that tells you that she just needs.
You need bodies.
She needs
Yeah.
body. She needs height.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a divi. You know, I think and we like 3 of us. I think we get caught up in all this noise. But Tennessee State, that's a Division I program, and for a Division I program to only have 10, I'm not saying 10 scholarship. I'm saying 10 girls, 10 women on the
Mm-hmm.
roster.
Mm-hmm.
They had 10 women on the roster, which is unheard of. And then you had nobody taller than 6 foot,
Right.
and you had one person that was 6 foot. So that's unheard of. And for her, and for Coach Dupree to still get that AC, I mean,
Win 10
majority of the
games.
work, yeah, yeah, like, I mean, there's huge optimism there, and your core was all freshmen, so you got 2 recruiting jobs. You got to get some other bodies in there, and then 2, you got to keep those core players in.
Oh,
Oh, we
oh,
look at
Your
we
bro.
found.
Oh, look at this. Look what the
oh,
cat drug up in this joker, boy.
oh, snap. What's
Good
going
Lord.
on?
Oh, my word. Kenny Roll, man. Come
Hey,
on,
man,
man.
there used to be a show on the Tom Jordan Morning Show.
Uh-huh.
My man Huggy would come in. What's the deal? Was everything coach? And I say, yeah, everything coach. Yeah, Huggy. How y'all doing?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Today's been a busy day in sports, right?
Yes,
You
it
Yeah,
know,
has. Yes,
you
it
yeah.
got
has.
Devontae
Listen,
Adams going to the Rams, and you got Miles Garrett getting
Yeah.
extended in
Yep.
Cleveland,
He,
and
he got that
you are
cash.
he got that money, and then Eddie George got a new job today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he sure did.
How
Yeah.
about that, man?
How
How
about
about
that?
that? But yeah, I saw y'all was on. I said, man, I want to chime in, tap in, see what y'all talking about a little bit.
Come on, man. Come on in,
So,
man. Come
so,
on.
so, 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 so what you got to say?
Yeah.
Man,
What's your
listen,
opinion on the matter?
Yeah.
um, you gotta look at it from the standpoint of it was time. I think he has a 5-year contract that he just finished up year 4. And we have seen this trend of if you win, you get promoted or you get elevated. I believe that this was something that you could have foresaw, definitely coming off that good year he had last year, and it was only probably going to get better. So definitely, if it wasn't this year, after next year, it was going to be okay. What do I want to do? Um, Probably, I'm pretty sure he kind of wanted an extension, or if he was trying to see if he could get an extension. The climate of what's going on at the university may not have been friendly to an extension. So you see what happens. And he had a interview with a NFL franchise this year for a head coaching position. So that in itself on your resume, it's like you getting looks. So, hey man, I'm happy for him. I think it's good. I think he's gonna do some good things, and it's time for TSU to move forward. And as I know we will, as we have always have. So, I'm excited for it. You know, it's a new challenge, but he left us in a good. He left it, I guess, better than how he found it.
Yeah.
There
So,
you go.
you know,
There
you
you go.
can't get mad. You can't get mad when individuals come and clean up and leave it better than how they found it. So, yeah.
So that's just how probable is it for like even assistants and NFL assistants that they will look to say the coaching job at SS level? Like how probable do you think that is?
You said for them
So,
to say that one more time. Okay.
so he's looking at new coaches, right? And you saying like I'm sure that Dr. Allen has some listed. How
Hmm.
many? What's the possibility of getting like an NFL guy coming over, interested in hopping in? I wonder how all that will work out. 'Cause,
I
yeah,
think it's very possible for them to come coach at TSU.
yeah,
Yeah,
hmm
I think it's very possible. You know, you see, Dion started this whole trend. You know, I know people hate to say that, but it's true. Dion to Jackson State, then Eddie to TSU, and then this past cycle we just saw Deshaun Jackson go to Delaware State, Vic go to Norfolk. So it's a market for it, which is interesting. A lot of these players are thinking, you know, maybe that's what, if I want to go coach or see if I like coaching, this could be an avenue. Um, I know Ray Lewis was in conversation to be a coach somewhere this past cycle. I forget where. Got to the finalists. I don't know what happened with it, but I know that's someone who could be very interesting look. He comes with a price tag though, but I think he'll be an interesting look. But I think it's possible to replace EG with another big name. That's something that you want to go into, and then there's of course some good people in the market around who are just regular good coaches within HBCUs or mid level that you can bring over as well.
I think we're gonna. I agree with you, but I think we're gonna use this opportunity to save a little money.
Right, exactly. So you want to be very conscious of how you hiring. You know, definitely in this climate of the university. So I feel like it's going to be a very, how can I say, financial conscious hire, which is okay. You know, that is definitely okay because you still can get a good quality coach on maybe 100 or 200,000 less than what you kind of had current coach at. So you can kind of see that writing on the wall, but you just gotta dissect and get into it a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah.
we was discussing earlier. I don't know if you heard it. Talking about the spring game. Well, we're supposed to have Junior Day next week, which I don't see a flyer out. Or maybe they took it down. I didn't see it out. Looking on X. Um, and also trying to get a spring game in on April 12th. I mean, how probable is it to like find a head coach, find a staff? They got to practice at some point, right? I'm sure. I'm sure. Like somebody mentioned, we do have a strength and conditioning coach. Shout out to Dayton, Ohio. He's from Dayton, Ohio. Coach Dewar Shaw,
Okay.
uh, Dayton, Ohio. So he's there working with the different teams now, but he's working football too as well. But so they are getting the weight training portion of it right.
Yeah.
Um, but like, can you realistically? We asking Kenny these questions. He did some work at Tennessee State as a grad assistant for I mean not grad assistant, student assistant,
Yeah.
women's basketball program, and also he's now currently with the NFL working with the Bears. So he has a lot of experience working, understanding this whole
Landscape.
landscape of it, right? So it's like, how is it? Is it possible to get this done? We can have a spring game April 12th.
Absolutely. You kind of have to. And I think I saw an article before I hopped on. They say spring practice start next week.
Yeah.
So it's business as usual. You know, it's not ideal to be in this situation, and it stinks. Um, it's
Amen
crazy.
to
This
that.
is the second year in the row TSU been in this situation. Last year, our OC went and got another job.
Yeah.
They had to bring in a new OC. So we've been in these waters before, just not to the extent of a head coach, but it's possible. You know, I think you got Dr. Allen being interim right now, like running football operations. So right now, the first thing you're looking at is you got to see what you have first before you see what you don't have.
Mm.
So who is going to Bowling Green with Coach George. That's the first thing. You gotta see what's going on with that. Then you gotta see which of these players are hopping into this portal. And then once you kind of understand that, then it goes into, okay, are you gonna go the interim route, start, then hire? Are you gonna just hire outright? And then, okay, where you gonna pull these players from? Because if you got a good bunch that go to Bowling Green, okay, now we got to replenish the roster. So a lot of those conversations are probably happening right now. Dr. Allen is not sleeping right now, because you got to make this thing happen real quick. Like I said, this is not ideal, but I guarantee you it's going to be a game on April 12th. Whether it's bits and pieces, the game is going to happen. Got to happen. Spring ball is here. You just got to figure out, okay, what we doing. And, I think yesterday was the first day we heard that he was like a finalist for this position or things like that. So TSU has already known that he was interviewing or that this was going to happen. So there's probably things in place that, okay, this is our step A, step B, step C. If he gets this job, we're going to look here. He's probably already shared who he's looking to maybe take. A lot of those conversations probably happened before this was even leaked or put out there that he was a finalist for that job. So I think TSU going to be just fine in that aspect of putting this thing together and having a product out there. But it's just a matter of who are the pieces you're going to have in place.
Yes, sir.
Business as usual. That's
There
the
you
Oh,
go.
oh yeah, man. It's business. It's business as usual. This happens, man. This happens. Um, we saw it this year with Marshall. And when their coach got a new job down in Southern Miss, the whole team got in the portal, and Marshall got to rebuild and do whatever they got to do with that. It's the same thing here. The only thing is, it's just late in the cycle, man.
Yeah.
It's just late in that cycle. A lot of these guys have already committed to go other places. The ones who are in the portal are the ones who are in the portal for a reason. And then coach, one thing about coaching, if a coaching seat is a better opportunity, they're gonna jump no matter how late it is. We saw that last year with our with the OC situation. So I'm not worried about finding a guy, even if it's someone that's in conference that we don't really know about, that they may be looking at, like, oh, if they're from a UT Martin or a Lindenwood or whatever, another team in the conference that can come over. So you never know. You never know how they want to play this. Even if you only have a 1 year head coach, like, okay, this is going to be the coach for the year, and then we're going to do this the right way when we have a full cycle to kind of have the luck of the pool, which I wouldn't be mad about.
What do you think about what's your thoughts on the basketball team, the ladies and men in their season?
Man, look, shout out to Coach Candace Dupree, man. Let's
Yeah.
start there. That was a great showing for them. She kind of came in and had about 3 players left on the roster. There was very few. So we saw a lot of freshmen step up, and she got some great production from the freshmen. I think she's gonna have a great recruiting class. But for them to find their way to that 8 seed and go to postseason play, I believe was huge. Now the bottom end of conference of that women's basketball pool was not the best, was not, as talented as the top, and you can see that. But at the same time, you still made it. The history book's gonna say you were there. I believe this is the 4th straight year, I want to say, we done made postseason play on the women's side. So that's real good. Hats off to former Coach Evans and Coach Dupree for keeping that thing going. I think it's only going to get better on that women's side when it comes to that. Yeah, and the fact that they beat Southern Indiana to get in, like they won out to clock, that was big. I was very excited about that, very pumped. Man, men's basketball, man. It was good to see them in the semifinal. It was tough in the last 20 seconds of the game to see how that go down. You all know, I know about that type of situation all too well. About what that looks like when you kind of in the last seconds and you kind of got something that can help you stop the clock in your back pocket. But I think it was good for them too, because they hit a little lump and then they got hot at the right time. Working in Gentry during my years, that's what all the coaches always talked about. You want to peak at the right time. You know, you want to peak too early. You want to peak right around tournament time in February, playing your best ball, going into the tournament, and they were. I was looking at the two games that they played with against SIU when they went into overtime. That first one, and that second one looks like kind of got away from them. So I knew it was going to be a good game. But just to see that SIU end up winning it all and how they did SEMO, it's like, dang, if we would have won, probably we would have been champions. We would have got that. But I think, you know, as always, Coach Penny has done a great job of flipping these rosters, you know, because he even had a new team, I'll say, for the past 3 years almost. Like, it's a new team. I think this is going to be the first team in a long time, and he's going to have some continuity going to next year. So you build off of that, man. You know, you build off of that. They should be back. They remind me of my freshman year team, 18-19, when they had, no, I'm lying, 19-20, going to that COVID year when they had Mikey Littlejohn, Carlos Marshall, them guys. And we had postseason play when they was going to put that John McClendon Classic at Gentry. Unfortunately, you know, COVID showed up and kind of ended that. But that team was really good. They didn't have as many wins, or they didn't have as many flashy games, and they didn't make the tournament. But that was a real solid team.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the next year they bring in Marcus and it's COVID. It doesn't work out because it's not normal. You know, COVID comes in. But I think this team reminds me of how that team was, and probably a little better. Some may argue because they made postseason play and made a 3 seed at that. So I think it's bright for the men's team. I think Coach Penny will be going into his 8th season, which is crazy to think. Because I think when I got to TSU, he was just in his 3rd, I want to say. So it's crazy how fast time is flying.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. And then also, that 1920 team, you had to deal with Belmont. You had to deal with Murray State. You had to deal with Austin Peay. So a lot of these teams you don't have to deal with no more, which is good. But you still got some powerhouses that are still doing some good things. SEMO included. They was a 1 seed. And SIUE, man, it was just their time, man. You know, you can't be mad when it's a certain team's time. You know, first time ever in school history, that's big. So hats off to them, man, for sure. But I think basketball was a big – I give it a B because you didn't win. But, again, I don't think we saw women's basketball making the postseason. I know I didn't. Like, I saw some good stuff early on, and I was like, okay, we're going to have a decent season. And, you know, you hit the lumps. Mm-hmm. And then to see that they're in contention for an 8 seed and they clinch it, that's a win. And then for the men's to make to the semifinals and almost get to the championship game, that's a win. So I'm excited for how the men's game and men's and women's teams going to look next year. I think it's going to be really big. I think, again, we just got to continue to support those coaches. Coach Dupree going to have a full recruiting cycle to bring in her players and her recruits in, and Coach Penny going to build off of this, and it's going to be on. It's going to be on and popping.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Man, Kenny making us all look good, y'all.
Yes, sir.
You know, yeah. Well, the numbers were down. We brought you back in, and numbers went right back up. Okay, everybody.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're like, oh snap, they brought somebody in, man. Nah.
Back in.
So let me tap in real quick. You know, want to hear what y'all good brothers are saying, man. But nah, man, and all be all, it's tough to see Coach George leave. Definitely after the good year that he had, you know.
Yeah.
I'm someone who I want to see you do it again, man. You know, and take it to a different level. Because who we played in the playoffs, I can't remember. Montana. So you played them tough. You know, like you didn't just like get blown. Like it was a competitive game till they made a couple of explosives in the 3rd quarter and kind of ran away with it towards the end. But it was very competitive. So I was very interested to see how they come back this season. I believe they got 8 home games, so it's basically a home season. You know, on the road that much. So it's going to be interesting. But I think just like we always do, just trying to support who's ever in the seat. This year, got a ton of fun games. A&T coming to. I almost said the whole. I don't want to get no one upset. Nissan Stadium.
Nissan Stadium.
Nissan Stadium. You got Howard coming. You got A&M. Like it's a lot of good stuff happening in the football arena. So hey, I'm excited for it, man. Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. Well, before we get out of here and we go any further, I do want to mention softball team. Softball team has they really built up their schedule this year, and they play in a much tougher schedule. But right now, man, we were sitting at 10-7. We're 10-7, and we're 2-1 in the OVC. We beat Tennessee Tech. They had we played them 3 times and beat them twice. So we're off to a good start in OVC, and they're 10-7 record, and again against much competitive competition. And then women's tennis and men's tennis, we're off to a tough start. Women's tennis is 1-6. Men's tennis is 1-8 on the season. Tough start. Hopefully they can get it going and go into the OVC and have a better season.
Well, let's talk about softball. They've been trending upwards for some. Yeah, so this is not anything new.
Nope.
Their coach, I think she's been there for about what 3-4 years now. It's again, yeah. So I know when she came in because she came from an SEC program.
Yep.
And she was like, why can't we be like them?
Right.
Or like, I need to make sure I'm instilling to my young ladies that you can't go out and beat these teams. There's nothing that separates you from these teams. Like, you just got to put the work in. So she came in with that mentality on the front end. So the fact that they're on an upward trend, that's not surprising at all. So kudos to them, man.
Yeah. It sounds like you've been listening to us, man.
Hey, man, listen, I chime in just because I don't say much. I chime in. I hear what's going on. You try to figure out what's going on. I'm waiting for y'all to break the news that the Tiger Sharks are coming back, but I'll say I'm waiting for y'all to break that news.
No, I'm waiting for our financials to get right.
Hey, man, you got to start somewhere, man. You got to start somewhere. But hey, football is your #1 revenue generating sport, so you got to invest in it. And I'm also interested if we stay with Under Armour.
So I would say, I would say now probably canceled summer camps. They were powered by Adidas on there. So
you're right, there were summer camps going on.
So he had some in June. Actually, he also had a flag football camp. That was pretty unique because it's in Tennessee. I think it's not going to be a varsity sport. At the state, there's varsity sport. Maryland, it is where I'm at. It's a varsity sport next year. So I think Tennessee was next. I think, but I know they have a lot of teams to play in Tennessee.
Hey, man, flag football is big, man. It's coming up. Yes, just yesterday we had the first collegiate flag football game played at our facility at the Chicago Bears Hallis Hall. So flag football is definitely coming up. It's going to be an Olympic sport next Olympics. So
yeah.
So
the fact that you want to engage with sports, and so having them play flag football and had a camp, that was nice to have 2 days of positions, whatever he had, then had the last one being some ladies. That was great. So hopefully they keep it going. Yeah, it was powered by Adidas.
I mean, I came in when we had just finished that Adidas run. Nike was the new sponsor for the university, for athletics. But I heard Adidas was really good to us. They said they got a lot of gear, and it was a nice little situation. So I'm interested to see if they stay with Under Armour throughout this, or if they go back to Nike or Adidas. Who knows? Or they may, depending on who the coach is, he may choose, I want to go this route or go that route. So I see a lot of changes on the horizon, but I don't think they happen quickly. I think we won't see a lot of changes till probably this time next year when you're able to have a full cycle of recruiting and hiring, firing, however you want to do it, things like that.
Okay. All right, guys. That was good. So let's go.
Yeah, it was good. Good seeing you, Kenny.
Hey, you too, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man.
Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.